to enjoy an evening of terror.
Was it? Who's there?
Terror at the Opera.
If you try to close your eyes, you'll tear them apart. So you'll just have to watch everything.
She is the captive audience. They are the unrehearsed players. Evil is the true star. And no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to close your eyes. Director Dario Argentos brings fear.
Don't leave me alone. I'm afraid.
Passion. Obsession.
I can take you whenever and wherever I want.
And murder to a perfect pitch. Terror at the Opera. The final note is a real killer.
みんなに報告しなきゃいけないことがあります。ミマちゃんは今日でチャムを卒業します。チャムの皆さんでありがとう。いつもミマの部屋覗いてるからね。田所さん。田所さん。田所さん。あ、なんか出た。私もなかなかやるじゃない。
けどね、ミマって子大丈夫ですかね、事務所的に。
いつだって気づいてた、確かなものつかめない。
信じているわ、ミーマニアさん。私は何一つ変わらない。
All right, with that, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, this is All the Colors Of, and we are talking about two bangers today. First off, I am Chris, a.k.a. Black Love Reviews. I'm joined always by Darren of Subjective Perspective Collective. Darren, how you doing tonight, my man?
Not too bad, not too bad. Yourself?
Very, very good. Just ready to go. And what this series is all about, All the Colors Of, really is, it's not really verses. It's just two films that match up pretty similar in their story aspects, the lighting, the colors, of course, and the premise. And we're talking about, of course, two bangers. Of course, one that Darren and I love very much. We're talking about Dario Argentos Opera from 1987. And then we're talking about a very good film that was made 10 years after that. And that is, of course, the very late, great Satoshi Kons Perfect Blue. So this is a great edition that came out last year from G Kids. They're a division of Shout Factory, to tell you the truth, and stuff like that. And this was released originally by Studio Madhouse and stuff like that. Awesome anime studio. They're legendary. And these are great films to talk about. Both have the same premise. You have, of course, an opera singer who's coming into her own in this film. And then you have, of course, a idol singer in Japan who is graduating, as they call it, and moving on to an acting career herself. what both these films, of course, have in common, of course, there's a maniac after both of these ladies. And they're both songbirds, and they're both definitely in trouble. Darren, first off, your thoughts on both these films?
Right. So I did pick up a while back because I've been talking to Chris, a few months back, and I told him I got this book. It's called The Two Truths. And what it is it literally shows you how much, Perfect Blue is pretty much influenced by opera. I haven't read all of it, but what I have read has been superb so far. And these two films really do go well together. Some of the similarities are like jaw-dropping when you realize and you go back and you watch them back to back. Everyone knows my love of opera. It's my favorite film, not film in general, just my favorite film. It's everything I love in a film. I mean, the soundtrack you've got in both of these, actually. The soundtrack is superb in both of these, but everyone knows my love of opera, obviously. It was my second time watching Perfect Blue, and literally pardon the pun, but it blew me away.
Yeah.
I love that film now as well, because I really liked the film a lot. But going back this time, it just really clicked with me. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to talk about these two tonight.
Yeah, me too. This is definitely a good one. These two films, like I say, are mirrors. Like just looking in the mirror at something else and realizing it's the same thing. And 10 years apart. First off, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight, whoever is. Thanks for catching us. John Grande over at Grande's Graveyard is doing a stream right now. I was just going over there too, giving him a like and a watch too, because he's doing a review on Perfect Blue as well. He loves anime as much as I do and stuff like that, as well as Smile 2, which is very cool. Those two films actually match up better than I thought they would too. Smile 2 is
weirdly got
that better
in
than the first film, to tell you the truth. And
I recently I got that in yesterday. I saw Smile 2 come up on Amazon for like £2 or £3, so I jumped on it. But I need to see the first one.
It's definitely worth seeing. It's definitely bonkers one, but we're talking about two bangers. But first off, we'll just get it started. First off, I'd like to say hi to Jason Jinja Ninja. Thanks for dropping in, saying hi. I really do appreciate it. And if you could, people give that like and sub if you want to, and check out Darren and Dirk on his channel too. They review films like this. They do narration on films like these. So it's very cool. So first off, we're talking about Dario Argentos Opera. This is the German release that I got a couple years ago. And this has all the bells and whistles in it and stuff like that. This has the international version and then the original Italian version on 2 4Ks. You have 2 Blu-rays with the same editions, and you also have another Blu-ray with special features. Unfortunately, I don't have a region-free player, but that's okay. The sound is great on here. The transfer is great on here, and I watched the international cut, so it's going to be an interesting take for both of these. And I do love both these versions. But yeah, we're talking about this film as well. Darren, you have the one from Severin as well, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, I missed out, funny enough, on that German edition. I kick myself daily.
Yeah, it's okay.
Probably one of the best releases ever. Because I love the film that much. I just got off listening to the soundtrack, and wow. I mean, weirdly enough, we covered this, me and Dirk, on our show. And one week, I just sat through and I took notes on every single feature on this edition.
Very nice.
It took a whole week, but it was one of the best weeks.
Absolutely, and that's great artwork for that one as well. You can't kind of beat that. So, opera done in 1987, released in the U.S. in 1988. This is Dario's kind of first, because he went on. He did what a lot of directors do, screenwriters, give the script to a lot of people, and say, how's this going to work and what have you. And it's very, very, very cool. Well, not very cool. It's an awesome film. Dario Argento used Super 35 film to film this. Now, the opening where they show the opera house, there's a cameraman with one of those cameras, of course, because they're broadcasting this on Italian television, right? That's what they do over there in this beautiful country. And I swear, because there's a lot of red herrings, I believe, in here. That I didn't notice before. And I believe that's Dario on that camera. Like, I almost thought about pausing it. I'm like, I bet you that's him on that camera. just doing that, just for the heck of it and stuff like that, because he didn't look like he had gray hair then. But that's just me. Like I say, done in 1987, stars Christina Marcellach. Is that how you say it, Darren?
Marcellach is.
Yeah, Marcellach. Thank you. As Betty, yeah. We have the late Ian Charleson, which was his only film that he ever did, I believe, or it was like kind of his debut. He got in a car accident while filming this. That's when we went to the doctors, and the doctors found out, unfortunately, he was HIV positive. He later, of course, a few years down, died of AIDS. May he rest in peace. Good actor in here. He's great in here. We have,
oh man, he's brilliant in this role.
Yeah, of course. We have Urbano Barberini as Inspector Alan Santini, and we have Daria Nicolodi as Mira as well. So real quick info on this, real quick. I'll just name them off, and Darren has a shitload more he'll let us know about, of course. Says around 140 ravens were used for this film. Of course, ravens, they are very big birds. Like we have crows over here, they're gigantic birds, and it goes to a curse that's mentioned in this film, the curse of the play Macbeth. Dario Argentos mentioned an actor died on set. So makes me wonder who that is. Darren, you may have more info on that. Daria Nicolodi, she dubbed her own voice in here, which is very interesting. But yeah, that's actually her speaking English. So it's not somebody else dubbing her voice in the English version and stuff like that. That's her just dubbing that. And like I say, we'll get along to the other stuff in here. Like I say, it was filmed in Rome, Italy, and stuff like that. Beautiful, of course, in Switzerland, which he would do other films in, of course, like that. And the budget was $8 million for this. I'm sure it just skyrocketed anyway for what it is. I do believe it is one of his best films, ever. It's very different for what it is. And there you go. That's the little info I kind of have on that on this awesome film. Go ahead, Darren.
So some of the info I've got. So the original music is by Claudio Simonetti.
Yes, I got in trouble for playing his song.
Yeah, they did actually. So they did actually create a metal band, which I love the metal songs in this. I know a lot of people don't. They like Phenomena as well. They don't really like the Motorhead and the Saxon, Iron Maiden,
Iron Maiden,
Saxon in Demons. But so yeah, you got Bill Wyman on the same track as well. Absolutely love his piece of music. The cinematography is by Ronnie Taylor, and Dario Argentos did a commercial with him in Australia years before this, and that's why they hooked up again. I think some of the best work is in this film.
Oh yeah.
Franco Ferrini, who went on to work with him a lot more in the writing aspect, he comes on board with this one. Stendhal Syndrome as well. He did Sleepless. Assistant director, or one of the second unit directors, was a guy called Michel Suavi, who
yes,
everyone will know through Stage Fright,
Church,
man. Yeah, exactly. Just touching upon what Chris said with the cast, you got so Ian Charleson, he did die a couple of years after this film when he was 40. Urbano Barberini was in fact a real life prince, which is crazy when you think about it.
He's a good looking cat.
Yeah, I mean, he was there obviously for the eye candy for the women. Carolina Cataldi Tazzoni plays Julia. She was, believe it or not, another ex-girlfriend of Dario Argento. She's superb in Demons 2. I do want to mention Antonella Vitali, who plays Marion, a very small part in this. She's the girlfriend of the director, and she was literally the girlfriend of Dario Argento at the time.
Oh yeah, that's her. Yeah, the perm. Yeah.
And I think so much.
You're a sadist.
Yeah. Marco, the Ian Charleston character, is literally based on Dario Argento. And you can quite clearly see that.
You can kind of see that too. Yeah. It goes it does whatever Giallo kind of does. You're like, oh, wait a minute. We'll get to that. So.
Oh, yeah. And just last but not least, Michel Suavi was, in fact, he did play Inspector Daniel Suavi in this as well.
Last man.
But no, man. I mean, yeah, I just absolutely love this film. It's I think it's probably one of the best Giallos ever made. In terms of the soundtrack as well, it all comes together.
Yeah. The budget for this, they had an option. They wanted to do this in another opera house, but they found probably as he's quoted and saying like the second best. And that was all done in an actual opera house, and it's great. It's terrific. Those aren't just sets put together. That's an actual opera house because they've gone back there. They've had interviews with Christina and stuff like that. We've all seen that and what have you, the hallways and all that stuff. I love before and after type stuff that they do. You know what I mean? It's just really cool just going into that place.
Oh yeah. So this was released on December the 19th, 1987.
Yeah.
It did, like Chris mentioned, the $8 million kind of budget. It did get scaled back because originally it was for 10 million.
Yeah.
It did pretty good. It did quite well in Italy, but for some reason, Orion Pictures pretty much dropped the American release. It did kind of get like a regional release in some places, but not, nothing like it should have. It was his most expensive film to date, Argento. Filming began in April of 87. There's additional filming that took place in Lugano, Switzerland. That's towards the end of the film when they got, they pretty much filmed it all in Switzerland Alps. And again,
Ryan Pictures for the
phenomenon as well.
Yeah, Ryan Pictures for that ending scene wanted to cut out that whole. So because I watched the international version, which looks great 4K. I like that. Whoever did that did a great transfer for that. The films never looked better, in my opinion. And it's just at that very ending that they cut out a good, maybe another minute worth of some stuff. They cut out some other things that we'll get to with this film and stuff like that. But Dario's like, no, you're not cutting out that whole thing. So,
okay. So when I talk about it, I go through the film. I always go for the director's cut every time I got to watch.
Oh yeah, this was the first time watching that version. So it's always cool watching, like, you can say the version's released over here. You all in the UK got the bad version, to tell you the truth. Of course you did.
Terror at the Opera as well.
Yeah, Terror at the Opera, yeah. That's why I put that trailer on. That's an old school trailer that's very hard to find. It's on that 7 release. It's on this release too. So,
we'll go through the film in a bit. But Mara Sakova was actually written for Vanessa Redgrave.
Yes.
And then she kind of pulled out at the last minute due to like money. She wasn't satisfied with very much she was getting. Daria Nicolodi then took over that part, which never happened because she ended up doing another part, and it's quite an infamous death scene, which I will say probably one of the best death scenes I've ever seen. And she was paranoid because at the time, her and Dario Argento weren't on good terms at all. So when they was rigging her up for this death scene, she was paranoid that Dario was trying to kill her in real life. Marshallak is quite well known, just did not get on with Dario or anyone behind the scenes.
It started out good with her. And then her words just said he just stopped talking to her. Like something happened. I love Dario, but he can be paranoid and something for some reason. Like he can just like bipolar probably. So that's too bad, but that hurt her quite a bit. Because she never understood.
Yeah, I think it was more to do with her part being a diva and that. But she did actually go on towards the end of the film. There's a scene where she's in this room full of fire, and she did actually get burnt for real in those scenes. So
yeah, she tries to get the key.
Yeah. But yeah, like I say, we'll go through the film if you want. I got a little bit more we can say as we go through.
Yeah, we can just go ahead and start, and there's some tidbits that we can add in here as we always do. So yeah, basically it just takes part in this opera being done, and then it's from the lead actress for the opera at the time. What was her name, Darren?
So you want about the Marina Shakova?
Yeah, like you see from a POV, you never see what she looks like. Right. And it just shows her like going out and all this other stuff. Her agent almost looks like a thinner version of the guy that was in Alice, Sweet Alice, a little bit. I remember looking at him, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a trip. And that's when it goes out, and it's a good shot from a distance where she's walking out, she gets hit by a car, and then it just goes on from there.
That opening shot, man, because you see like a reflection in the crow's eye.
Oh, so good.
Opera. Yeah, man, just the way it starts out. But yeah, she gets knocked down. Betty is the understudy, but someone kind of phones Betty up to tell her she's going to make her debut in Macbeth. And Macbeth, as we all know, is like this cursed kind of
Shakespearean play.
Yeah. I mean, she thinks she's too young for the role. But Argento just moves the camera, in that opening scene to all corners of the room, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Visually, probably I would say this is one of his best visually films. But he like pans around the opera house, right? And it's just the way he shoots. So it's opening night and everyone's kind of in a panic. There's a great POV shot of the killer behind the scenes, and we see the black gloves and the killer's watching from this box, up high in the opera house. And that's where we get the flashback to the girl being killed. While another
by this dungeon type area, you see the steps like leading down. Like you say, the score is terrific for this. Probably one of his best.
That's the piece of music I was alluding to by Bill Wyman.
Yeah,
it is phenomenal, and he does a piece of music in Phenomena as well. And they're both some of my favorite, parts of soundtracks ever. But you got the killer. Then he pretty much kills this man in the box. After some
it's like a candle holder type looking thing. It looks
like a coat hanger, I think. Yeah.
There's blood on his binoculars, and he's trying to shake them off and stuff like that. And now I know where Ty West got the idea for Maxine. He gets pissed off over something that he sees, and you see him like just clench up and stuff like that too. Like the killer's like really pissed off and what have you. And he's just trying to like kind of shake it off. That's when the lighting fixtures just fall, and
they do. Yeah.
And and Marco's just like, keep going.
Oh yeah. So originally Dario Argento does all his films. He's always the killer in the black gloves, but for that scene he wasn't. They had to get a Steadicam operator to do it. But like you say, the show goes on, and Bettany, while she's freaked out by the crows, she can.
Yeah, is that the one where the crow lands on her? Like, the raven does?
On. Yeah.
The raven lands out of nowhere. I think she got literally scared. She's so good, but she got like terrified. She's like,
I think that was real.
And the big sucker's sitting there.
Yeah,
because they're all just laying on the ground and stuff like that. They probably shut up a storm for Pete's sake, leave a mess, and it's like people get the guy that's controlling the ravens, I guess the handler and shit like that too. That's kind of funny stuff. So a little bit of his dark comedy. That's really what it is with this, but it works.
Oh yeah, so she completely smashes the first night, getting rave reviews and all that. You've got Alma, this little girl. She comes into play as well. She's watching Betty at home. She's like a big fan.
Going with the parents are like arguing, I think, in the background and stuff like that too.
Oh,
amazing apartment complex. I love stuff that's done in this Italian apartment complex. Like a lot of cool stuff. She has a very cool like stereo system with the bulb that's on there that changes like to red and stuff like that, and to blue, and I think the other colors. Some quick things that I didn't notice. I had to relook at it. There's VH tapes in her room. There's a few of them. And these are the red herrings that I'm talking about. I think they were put here on purpose. So the VHS tapes that she has, I wish I had them. Silkwood being one, Purple Rain being another, Blade Runner being another, For a Few Dollars More being another, and Hell Night's in there.
Okay, Hell Night.
Yeah, so you see like a shot of these VHS tapes and stuff. I'm like going, that's what's cool about these films when you watch them over again. You see, and you love them that much, so you'll see stuff that you haven't seen before. That's what kind of makes us, kind of sicko cinephile fans like that. But I thought that's really cool. So specifically the films like Hell Night, dude, and like A Few Dollars More, of course, like that too. Yeah. That's Sergio Leone. We all know Dario worked under him once upon a time in the West, so
yeah, and I mean we got to mention the blue tinted light throughout this film as well.
The blue is probably the best colors in this film too.
Oh man, yeah, it looks so good.
It's his best modern. It's his best modern giallo, definitely. Like,
some say it's his last best film or
I can agree with that.
I don't agree with that, but
we'll
it's
get to that.
probably it's up there. It's in, I can see it's
definitely.
kind of, I can see why people feel that. But Mara Sokovara, she's not happy. She's watching at home, and she can see her understudies getting all these applauds and all that, and she's seethingly mad. Marco says to Betty, doesn't he? The only bad luck Macbeth brings to you is fame, and I think that's a great line.
I think it's later on that they mention, or she mentions her mother was a singer as well, but you don't know a lot about her mother. They don't really explain a lot about her mother, but her mother is mentioned that she was an opera singer too. She was that way too, so that's why her character is nervous. Like, I don't know if I can be as good as her since I'm so young and what have you. So,
yeah, exactly. That comes massively into play later on, and we do see through flashbacks. We do see her mother. And I guess we're gonna completely talk about this and spoil it. Because it's
we could do that. Like I said, it's worth it just seeing it for seeing both cuts. But yeah, the Italian cut definitely, or like I say, the Dario Argento cut's definitely the one to see. There's some scenes that we'll get to though that were changed a little bit, which I didn't mind, to tell you the truth. So.
Oh yeah, and you'll be better than the telling the viewers that as well, because I've not gone back and seen the shorter cut.
Yeah.
We first see Inspector Santini. He meets Betty for the first time. But he's there obviously to investigate this death that went up in.
Yeah, he asks for an autograph because he has his little thing. People are going in and out of the room and stuff, and that's when her. The one in charge of like the setting and all that stuff too, like her boyfriend or whatever like that, comes in to say hi to her and congratulate her.
Yeah, Stefano, the stage manager. Yeah. And there's kind of a romantic kind of little thing going on.
He's a weird, shy character.
Yeah. I mean, we'll come on to the first kill, like the main kill.
The main kill. That's like, just sets up the whole template for the film.
You got Mara Shakova. She sends Betty then some of this horrible kind of perfume. And there's a great scene, literally, where Betty pours this perfume down the sink. And it's almost done in like 3D because you see the water coming towards the camera.
Yeah, that's where she's talking to. That's when she's talking to him too, and stuff like that. She's kind of pouring this down and stuff like that too. It's like
and he goes like this. Then he pretends to be choking, and he does a prank on her. We see Julia for the first time, and that's Cassandra Tassoni. I absolutely love her as an actress. She's the seamstress. And she seems to have it in for the director.
She looks. I'll say that she looks. Because I've seen pictures of her now. She's been in quite a few films, but she kind of looks more manly in this one, like the facial features or the structure of her face. Considering the one scene where we get to with her, I always found that and that's typical Dario and stuff like that too. But yeah, she's great in here too. Like say as the seamstress and stuff like that. She's like a lot of them and stuff like that too. It's like, you're going to let me finish this costume. I have to fix it and stuff like that. And it's like, well, whatever. You're not all that type of a thing. So it's a typical Jali where people really don't like each other, but they do like each other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, her scene, I think, I would say there's probably 4 or 5 really standout scenes.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll come on to her death scene, which is superb as well. But what you have with this film is, right, so before each murder, we see kind of this pulsating brain, and that's when we get into like all these.
It still took me a second to notice that because it's through like a view type lens and stuff like that or something like that. And you'll hear heart beating in here.
Oh yeah,
when certain stuff starts to happen, that's very good. Like you say, this may be Dario's best. He had a Academy Award-winning cinematographer do this stuff too.
He did, Ronnie Taylor.
Ronnie Taylor. So you can see that in this film, definitely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But with the POV shots, then you've got the shot going down a spiral staircase. There's a flashback to this woman, and she's tied up, and she's being confronted with a knife.
It's almost like a Phantom of the Opera type of a thing, which he would do later.
Well, this is, which he actually went on to do.
Yeah, which he went on to do because it's like this underground system, right?
Oh, yeah.
Underground Italy.
the killer has kind of this murder kit, and he's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he puts the blade in front of that cool stabbing blade, like right in front of, like I said, I don't mean to draw this 4K, but it's a great shot there and all this other stuff too. Yeah, just looking at everything that he's going to use, what he makes these pins that are, all these needles that are on this Scotch tape. Which you see what the killer uses later.
That sound of that knife going down the screen, always scraping down, like
it's so good, man.
Yeah. But yeah, you've got POV of the killer behind the scenes then, and the killer gets hold of Betty's dress, cuts it up. Meanwhile,
and with the ravens and
kind of
a little bit of some animal cruelty, you almost think. Because the ravens literally, because the ravens are smart birds. They're smart fowl. Literally take off that probably took a shitload of takes to do that. But I think literally you see the beak in there. I think you have to rile them up to have them do it. And literally puts the latch off and they just go after this person and stuff. He just takes the blade, whack one, whack two, all this stuff.
I'm thinking some of that animal violence looked kind of real to me. I don't know.
It looked very real to me.
Yeah.
It's animal stuff in Fulci's film. Just going to bring him up real quick. The Devil's Honey with the German Shepherd being in the ground and the woman burying it. That looked like an actual German Shepherd. That looked like a German Shepherd. I don't know if that thing was playing dead or not. I'm like, okay. So, kind of stuff like that.
I mean, I like to think that no animals were hurt during the filming. But, and we'll come into like the kind of similarities, with Perfect Blue. It's astounding when you think about it. But we got Betty then. She's kind of frigid. She doesn't really want to have sex with Stefano.
She's really nervous about it. What was going on at the time too, because like say Dario mentioned with the unfortunate, passing of Ian, where, AIDS was being well known at the time, and people were honestly scared, and they had every right to be. It's like, what could happen, and you put the kind of the fear of that a little bit in this film, considering how young her character is and stuff like that too. And he doesn't seem to have a problem with it. He's like, okay, you want some tea or something like that? Sure,
Yeah, so she goes back to Stefano takes her back to his uncle's house, who's this rich guy, and he
it's like a museum type thing. It's like a villa that's like in this. Yeah, like Italy's kind of that way, which is kind of cool. It's like you see them from the outside, they just look like regular like studio type things, and you go in there, you're like, oh, this is pretty badass,
He kind of shrugs it off the fact that she don't want to have sex, and he goes to get her some tea. In coming back, then we see her all tied up with the needles under the eyes in that iconic shot.
Yeah, he puts like the hand around her mouth and say, "Don't move, don't do anything." The voice in the international cut is different, and I like it better than the one in the original Italian version. It's more of a muffled, synthesized type voice than synth is in here. It's done through a voice box, and I kind of like that. I don't know. It's something about that. I'm like, oh, I must be watching another version here. and it just seemed to work. And he ties her up and puts these things in her eyes, basically wanting her to see what the killer does. And does she ever. Yeah.
And then we've got one of the best kills. It's not the best, which we'll come on to, but the knife up through,
and you see it through the mouth. And you just see it through the mouth,
so good, man.
And all this other stuff too. And he's hesitant for a while because she can't talk or anything like that. She's telling him like, "Oh, somebody's in there," and he's like, and that's a typical giallo trope. I love tropes and things. Tropes and slashers, they're here to stay. I don't care. Don't get rid of it.
And that's
just
where that metal song kicks in as well. Burning in the Night. It is so fucking good.
Yeah, Burning in the Night.
It's so good, man.
Because the killer stabs him multiple times.
He does,
He has his hands up and stuff like that, just dead. And then the killer lets her go and says, yeah. And then we'll get to the scene where I'm like, what's going on here? Like the conversation between the two and all this other stuff too, because she goes out in the rain and calls the police saying that there's a murder at this place. They don't know who she is. That's when Marco happens to see her and picks her up. happens to drive by, picks her up from this booth.
He does. And if you notice in that scene, right, so it's pouring down with rain. Have you noticed there's a similar scene in Perfect Blue as well, which will come on?
Oh, there's a totally, yeah, we'll get to that. There's scenes with tea being drank too that is very similar to this shit right here. Yeah.
the part I love about where Marco picks her up in the car, that piano score is just absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, turns on the heater so she can dry her hair off, and they get in this conversation about like women and stuff like that too, where she was hesitant and stuff like that too. And she doesn't tell him what's going on. And it's like, it's crazy. I remember doing a stream with Keith and Sean, may he rest in peace. And we were talking about that scene. Even Brad mentioned that too. It's like, yeah, we'll just have a conversation about stuff. Not telling him that my boyfriend's dead and all this other stuff too. It just gets into this stuff, but that's what makes it a great Gialli. I love Giallis like this, where they take it to a direction where I'm like, well, wait a minute, that's not how I would do that, but sure, okay, I love it anyway. So,
but it worked because none, like very rarely Dario's films make any logical sense anyway. Oh, heck and there's a lot in this film that does not make sense, but. That's what's cool about it. Yeah, that's why I love it. What she does tell Marco is she tells him of her dreams of this man in a black hood. She's kind of like very vague, like you say.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Whether she doesn't want to put herself
like, one of these days you'll tell me. It's like when you're ready, you can tell me. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But he takes her back, doesn't he? And
to her apartment.
There's someone literally watching in a phone box, in a phone booth. And he says,
she sees him. She sees the killer, but he doesn't, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's almost like a sexual tension type thing because, it's a typical hug, like, whatever, like that. Then he kind of backs away. He's like, she tells him, you better be going. She's probably worried about you and what have you. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Right. Because I think I remember asking Dirk this when we covered it. But did you think that Marco was the killer at this point? Because I did. I thought they were.
I never thought of it that way. That's a good take. That's why you guys are good with this. I never thought. Probably seeing it for the first time. Like I probably didn't think that. Like I'm weird like that and stuff like that. I didn't know the first time who the killer was. I had no idea it was going to be that person. I like none.
Oh right, I had no idea as well. I literally thought it was Marco. The reveal as well.
Yeah, the ending scene we'll get to like that is insane. Yeah. That's why you say this has like at least two different endings.
But the neighbor, so you got the little girl's mother, Alma's mother. She's pretty much a prostitute, I believe, do you think, in this? Where she's getting a lot of men coming back.
Yeah, because you hear arguments between the parents and that's her. There's a scene at the start where somebody's going through the grates and looking through the grates, and that's her. So she's going through that system of grates in these apartments, which is awesome, by the way. Like her own little maze and stuff. Going through like that. You get introduced to that later.
That's Argento at his best, and you can see a lot of these films were just Argento's dreams, and he put them on paper and he put them into reality. But Betty,
when you can do a child good in a Gialli, it's very rare, in my opinion. The motive comes to mind. That's probably the best child I've ever seen in a Gialli, like ever.
She's got like an English really good in this too, as well, which is kind of funny. She's like Betty,
Betty.
But Betty, then she's got all these tape needles in her pocket. I think someone phones her up at this point and hangs up, so she's getting like funny phone calls. And that's where we first come on to Marco's girlfriend, Marion. An actress I like a lot, Antonella Vitali, Dario's girlfriend at the time, and she reads to him all these bad reviews of this, performance and how they praise Betty, but they pretty much shit all over him. And he used to be like a horror director in this as well, and that's where you get the Dario Argento.
That's where you get the Dario Argento type thing. That I didn't notice either and stuff. Is that the one where they're reading? Well, no, there's another one where he's reading like a newspaper and stuff like that too, because they mentioned the murder of the stagehand, and they mentioned the murder of that other guy, of course, like that, where where the inspector is coming in questioning everybody, kind of, about what's going on.
Yeah, But she mentions his girlfriend mentions, "Oh, you want to take Betty to bed," and he's like,
Yeah,
he
you're a
doesn't say
sadist and
word.
stuff like that. He's like,
You're
oh,
a
maybe I
sadist, she
do. But
says
yet,
later.
when they're getting ready to go to the lunch, where he's like,
That's a
everyone's
great
kind of
line.
like a suspect type of a thing, and it's like a play and stuff like that, where Marco doesn't agree with him.
Right? Yeah.
You know, he doesn't agree with Alan and stuff like that too. Or maybe they do philosophical type sayings in here, which I like a lot. So it's really good.
So you've got Inspector Santini now. He's there. He's beginning to ask questions. He talks to the Raven handler, who says the Ravens never forget. They never forget.
Yeah, they never forget. Yeah, what it is.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Julia, so with Coralana Cataldi Tassoni, she finds this odd chain while she's mending the dress.
That's what he makes a comment and stuff like that, saying you're all
yeah.
It's an ugly thing anyway and stuff like that. She's like, oh, whatever. So yeah, she goes in there in this.
She thinks it's Betty's, doesn't she? She
says, massive, massive place, you know, where she can sew this stuff up. There's like almost like a mannequin, like plexiglass case. Where you hang like dresses like this stuff in and stuff like that too, which I noticed as well. We'll get to that scene in a minute. You have the cloths and stuff like that on the spinning wheels and stuff like that, would seem to be a hindrance. You know, because when the inspector is questioning everybody, Betty's there. She's on those top steps, whatever like that. She doesn't do it. She waits for them all to leave.
Yeah,
waits for him to leave, and then she's like, "Okay, now I'll just do it," and stuff like that. So,
but to her death scene, Julia's death scene, there's this long build up. And there's a real sense of like isolation in the sequence as well. But there's a date, there's an inscription on this bracelet, and they're trying to find out what it is. I think she asked for like a magnifying glass.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a magnifying glass. Okay, so like that, she's just fixing stuff up and what have you like that. That's when
but then we see the
sucker gets her
brain.
again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we see this pulsating brain again, and Betty gets attacked by the killer. He ties her up. He puts her in this glass box. Like
he puts her in the box.
She got the pins under the eyes again. It is.
This is the best kill of the whole film right here. This is the best.
Do you think so? Oh, okay.
It goes on. It goes on for. Yeah, the one we'll get to with Nicolotti's character is the second for me. The lead up to that is superb. The lead up to this one is superb, considering what kind of happens, because she sees her in there, but she almost gets all giggly like. Yeah. And she's like, yeah. And then that's when
she's got two options, hasn't she? She's got the option of letting her go free, or looking to see who the killer is. Yeah. And she takes the option to look who the killer is.
Well, that's one thing where she doesn't know it's weird. It's like, you know, but that's what I like about it, where it's like she goes in there and she's like, Betty, what are you doing in there and stuff like that? That's when the killer goes for. That's where she hits him with an iron.
She does, yeah. And she gets it back as well.
Yeah. Like she said, she makes the choice. She
unmasks the killer, and she's like, oh, and as she says it, she's going to say the name of the killer because Betty can't see.
Yeah, the killer breaks her larynx, crushes her larynx. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's it's like almost like a tracheotomy where she swallows a chain so he can't get hold of it.
Because she tries to run away and he throws the iron at her. Whack.
Yeah. And he puts the scissors in her mouth to try and get this chain out.
Yeah, because she's dead because she holds it up. She holds it up, right? Then all of a sudden it's great. It just goes like like that. The camera where the mouth is at goes like right in there. He's like, God damn it! I have to get these shears. These that are used for cloth. Yeah,
the scissors right in her throat.
And then just goes snip, and then gets it out that way.
Then you've got another part of the same track I love, like another metal song. There Is No Escape.
Yeah, there's no escape.
It's so good, man. It's so good. The image of her in that box as well is like iconic. It's used on all the covers, all the posters. And he's kind of just playing this cat and mouse game with her. Very much like Perfect Blue, obviously. But a little bit later on then, Santini tells Betty Daniela Suavi is going to come to her apartment to keep an eye on her.
Yeah, there's that scene where he washes off the bracelet, the killer does, in that fountain. Well, these killers are like, So they're holding probably the camera with one hand and doing this stuff with the other and just trying to like like wash it off or something like that. And the killer's looking around, like, you know, and all this other stuff too, because it's in daylight and stuff, and this beautiful fountain just trying to wash this off. I always thought that was pretty cool and funny.
Oh yeah, I mean, so literally, you know, the killer kind of gets into her apartment. She thinks it's the police officer Swavi who's keeping a lookout for her.
That's what
Mira turns up.
That's what he says and stuff, because she goes to the door first.
Yeah.
And whatever like that. Is that when
she sees
is that when Mira shows up, or was it after the inspector?
No, Mira shows up. So Dario Nicolodi shows up.
Because she calls her and stuff like that. So like, somebody's after me and stuff like that. It's like she called the police and stuff like that. Okay, I'll be right down type of situation.
They get this light bulb moment where they realize that Daniela Suavi is literally not the man in the living room. So Mira pretty much grabs the knife.
Because it's an empty chair and there's a cigarette on in the ashtray.
It is so suspenseful.
All in an apartment. All in an apartment. And
it is,
the scenes are flipping terrific with the two. Like you said, like, she has the knife. She's like right behind her and stuff like that too. She's like, go ahead, call the police or whatever like that too. That's when she goes like, where's your badge at? I want to see it, blah, blah, blah. All this good stuff.
Yeah. The lighting in that scene is incredible as well. So this is pretty much done like Bava used to do his films with like a gel lighting. So I think this is probably the best kill I've ever seen in a slasher film, giallo film, up to date.
It's done very, very well, that's for sure.
It is incredible. So Mira, she's looking through the peephole in the apartment to see who.
The guy says, "Here's my gun." This little thing, it's not that big kind of wise, right? Is like, "Oh, here's my gun. Oh yeah, I just put it in here." Boom.
And this bullet comes fucking through the peephole, straight through her eye, destroys a fucking phone
that she's holding and stuff like that right next to her from a distance, and it goes boom like that. Yeah.
It's Argento's best kill, and there's a lot, and that's a high statement, you know, a high fucking thing to say, but it really is. And like we said it earlier, Nickelodeon actually thought he was literally killing her in real life.
Yeah. There's great special features on the Blu-ray. I'm sure that's on the 7 release that Scorpion brought out too, and that's probably on ABC. It's good to see you too, by the way. He mentioned if we have like editions, like say this is a German media book of this and stuff like that. But like having talking to the people part of that, how they did the scene and stuff like that too, through that like tube and whatever like that. You have to get that right. And sure enough, they did. It probably took them a few tries, specifically with the phone and the way you do it, the way she falls and stuff. And you can see the way the camera is, right? It's stop motion a little bit, where it's like like that. Perfect. You can see kind of the picture change, but you see how well they did that though. So,
but to go through her eye, to hit that phone the way it does, it's kind of perfection on screen. I don't think that'll ever be beat. You've got the use of the Macbeth opera music in that scene as well, you know, in her apartment, which is amazing.
Right, it's kind of like, well, she does when the officer's in there, where, because there's a scene where the officer goes in there, you don't see him, but you hear him. And she's just listening to like some stuff to calm her down. And then the music, you know, happens. And then when the killer ends up going in there and stuff like that, she turns up the volume like a lot, which pisses the killer off to like no end, but doesn't turn it down, do they? No.
And right on cue as well, when the killer shows up, we get this pulsating brain again, which I love.
Yeah.
But Betty, she accidentally, so she's really freaked out, and she accidentally
she has the knife.
Stabs Suavi, yeah, which is played by Michelle Suavi, as we mentioned. But she thinks he's the killer. They actually
I think he was dead before that. I think he was dead before that. I don't believe she killed him.
He was dying, I think.
I think the killer got to him before or when he was in there, and then something happened there. But yeah, I think he was like on the way to dying already when he turned around, because of his expression wise and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm weird like that, where I can notice little things like that. So yeah,
they actually shot that scene. and went back to it a few days later because Dario thought it didn't work so well. And we get the shot then of Dario with his circling the body. I don't know if you want to go through the comments at all, Chris. Or
No, I just mentioned that ABC was in here and mentioned if we have like
nice
certain
to have
like
you on board, man. He seems
special editions and stuff. And yeah, he loves opera too, or they love opera a lot. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. All the comments in here, trust me, we're all paying attention to that too. We get to those usually when we go through these snippets.
Oh yeah, we'll come through the comments in a bit. Yeah.
Like I say, this is the German media book for that. This is the only German media book I have for this one right here. And like I say, Orbit had this for like $60. And then you mentioned go on eBay for stuff like that too. If you can find it for cheap, then get it for cheap. Don't pay like up the wazoo versus, because this was going at the time when Orbit didn't have it, was going up to like $80 or more. And like, I'm not doing that. So.
Well, there's a great comment there. Opera is an absolute masterpiece.
Yeah, masterpiece. Yeah, Pete Shallow, definitely. Yeah.
And again, I don't know about ABC. I don't know if you're like, you know about me and Dirk's channel, Subjective Perspective Collective. But if you want to go over there, we do a ton of Giallo stuff. I'm sure you'd love it.
When we finish this up too, and I'll add their link to the info bar too. I forgot to do that. But yeah, it's like I say, great stuff. That's what we kind of do here on these channels. So yeah, thank you for joining. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. So we've got that great shot, right, of the killer now in Betty's apartment, and he's diving out the way.
Right, because she has the gun and she's like woozy about it and stuff like that. Yeah, he's like, oh, like that. Yeah.
And I love the look of the killer as well, because he's not got a black fedora on. He's literally got like a whitish grayish.
That's very much Bava too, because it's like a white mask. This one's black.
Right, and
it's
perfect with the rest of his getup.
Yeah, because I don't think there's no like eye holes in it or nothing. I think it's just literally all black. Yeah, that I could see.
Yeah. That's when you get, Betty kind of escapes the killer through literally the air ducts, and
the girl calls her like Betty. Betty.
I love that. I love that accent. Actually, I'm not going to even attempt to do it.
She goes in there. That's where she goes up to her and just goes like. And stuff like that too. So,
oh yeah. So she kind of gets away through the air ducts, and she bonds with this little girl because they literally both kind of have.
They end up in her apartment. So they end up in her apartment where the mom's at. Yeah, because it introduces Daria is the one that does that before she meets her end. Before Mira meets her end and stuff like that. Who are you and stuff like that? Who are you and stuff like that? I'm your neighbor.
If you think about it, they've both. Because we'll see later on that they both suffer childhood trauma. So do you know what I mean? But we see Alma's mother then again, and she's got this really bad London accent. I don't know why, UK London accent. But she tells Betty to go, literally, and Alma's
That's the scene they took out. That's the scene they took up from the international. They took that out completely. They took it out basically when the girl like saves her and they have that little conversation, and then it just moves on to the next phase of the film.
You've got the iconic line as well from that little girl, and she's like, "You're disgusting. You're always naked." I always laugh at that line, man. But then you get, and this is again like Perfect Blue, actually. You get the heavy metal music plays, and then you get Betty running through the streets. Which we get Mima in Perfect Blue doing the same at one point.
She's way early with that in that film. Shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What about trauma? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. But she runs to the opera house. The killer's in pursuit. And she sees Marco there. We see that there's definitely a romantic connection between her and Marco beginning to develop. Because I think they hold hands, don't they, for quite a bit as well during the scene. But he says to her, "Look, I've got this idea. I think we can catch the killer," which we'll see towards the end. And
she ends up going to the opera house, and he's like going, "I got a great idea," and stuff like that. Where it just like goes like off the walls, and she's like shaking. It's like says like, "I heard about Mira. I'm so sorry," and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, and just go, okay, we're just going to go right to this, And
and
so that's very Dario. That's very Dario.
It is.
That's very Dario saying "f off" to Dario. Definitely.
But Dario sets that up as well, because there's a bunch of bird chimes in her dressing room. Yeah. And that forebodes to the killer.
She's like, I need to get some sleep. I haven't gotten any sleep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, We get the flashback scene as well where she's dreaming. She's a little girl. She sees her mother watching another girl
She
get killed.
witnesses, yeah, it's like a girl
Yeah.
witnessing something happening because there's a woman that's tied up who's blonde. And then there's that other scene that, like you say, there's another dream where it's a scene happening with this woman in this bed where the scissors are going down or whatever like that. The knife is going down to her panties or whatever like that. And she wakes up naked, and then that's when that sequence ends too. Like, say, a lot of cool, kind of weird dream sequences where you're like wondering what the hell's going on here, but they're put in this film for a reason, so it works.
Did you notice as well? Christina Marshall actually plays her mother in this too. In that scene.
Oh, nice. That's true.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Just
I know a lot
longer
of people
hair.
were kind of confused by that at one point when they first watched the film, but Dario does explain. We don't know if that's like, at this point, we don't know if it's a dream or a memory, which we find out later on. We see her performing at the opera. The plan is in place now, you know, this big plan to unmask a killer. And then we get possibly one of the greatest fucking crane shots of all time with the crows, the ravens circling the opera house. Oh man.
Well, first off, that's when she's doing it because they're saying the killer might be here. Going back real quick to the dream sequence, when she wakes up, originally it's Dario Argento narrating that in the Italian version, you know, Italian language of her dream and what have you. It's saying she had a dream about this and stuff like that too. In the international version, it's her. It's
her,
it's Betty's character. It's her voice. I like that too. She's like, the dream about my mother and this stuff too. Why did I have that and stuff like that? I'm like, oh, that's so good. I'm sorry. Some stuff I like a little bit better here. Like, it's weird how what I think about this cut of the film. But just going to that, the voices are a little different. It's same thing too with the killer here. In the international version, it's more of, like I say, more muffled voice, more different than it is in the Italian cut of the film, where they made the voice more clearer wise and stuff like that. They had issues with the international cut version of that voice. I do like that voice actually quite a bit, maybe because it's more Americanized a little bit. That's probably what Dario didn't like about it. So, you know, that's what I just kind of came to with that.
Yeah, I mean, that shot of the crow circling the whole opera house, you know, and a big thing in this film as well is we get like a close up of a crow's eyes. And I know I'm calling it crow. I know I'm probably wrong. It's a raven. But that's a big part of this film, is all to do with the eyes, the tape needles under the eyes.
Ravens, you know, I'll say this, there is a little bit of difference. They're around the same size. Ravens are a little bit bigger. They have a silver tint to their blackness. It's weird.
Yeah.
But you kind of notice that the way light shines on ravens. And like I say, you know, if you watch Game of Thrones, you kind of know. Like, you see them up close in here.
Right,
raising these suckers and stuff. But yeah, that's the scene where, like, doing it, everyone's waiting, and a great shot of the cage where the ravens are in, with the handler going just through. I think they had to redo that a couple of times, and landing and the door just opening. And he's like, go on, get out.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had issues with the ravens. Of course you are. When you have over close to 140 birds. Like, this isn't a pigeon coop, ladies and gentlemen. This is like, you know, you have to have these birds. You have to kind of teach them, which you can do. You can teach them to do this kind of thing. But yeah, like I say, great crane shots and stuff like that too. Great special features on that too.
The way this scene plays out as well. So you've got the No Escape song as well, the metal song overplaying it, which is perfect because the killer, there's no escape for the killer in this scene. And we realize then we get the big reveal, like the killer is actually Santini. And when I first saw this, I'm like,
takes his eye out. You see a scene with the raven with the eye, which you have on the cover of that too, trying to swallow it. It's the coolest scene of all time. Trying to just like do that.
Regurgitates his eye, doesn't it?
It regurgitates it and sticks it in there. Where you got to think it's kind of like perfect. He goes out, he starts shooting people at random. He takes out two like ladies, I think, that are playing like ghost type characters in the play. Takes one of them out at least.
So yeah, exactly. So Santini ends up he like knocks Marco out, and he tells Betty.
Puts the gun in his face, takes him out, just goes whack. Yeah.
You get the whole backstory then of how he was a slave to Betty's
To her
mother.
mother. Yeah.
He used to torture and kill for her. And you've got the whole room then when he gets Betty in this small room.
What do you think about that story point that he killed for her at the time? Do you believe
so I tell
that?
you something. So I tell you what I think is it's a bit weird where the flashback of Betty is when she's about 8 or 9, maybe 10. And to me, Santini looks the same age, and that's where it doesn't really match up. They literally look the same age, but they're supposed to be like 10 years difference. Or at least
he has,
like
he has interesting
difference.
like movements and stuff like that because he's obsessed with her, right? Where he all like,
yeah,
what like a character actor would work, right? As he ties her up and he's like, no. He all starts kissing her hands and all this stuff too. He's like,
he's
I
fucking
don't want to
amazing.
do this. I don't want to do this to you. Like he's like going, I really don't. You made me kind of do it, type of a thing, like a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like, you made me do this.
Oh yeah, I actually think he's kind of one of like amazing fucking performance from him in this.
Oh yeah, it's
one of
awesome.
the best killers. But yeah, so he's tying her up, you know, to this chair in the middle of this room, and he's putting all the gasoline
Blindfolds her.
over it.
It's like going, nope. I'm going to close your eyes here. You're not going to see what
You
happens.
got the whole
He all smells the gasoline. He's like going, gasoline.
Oh, yeah,
And when he pours the gasoline is like epic wise. He's just like, oh, like this. It's like going to burn it all and all this other stuff too.
And that's where he literally confesses to her about him strangling and killing her mother. He gives her the gun and he says, look, I'm not going to come out of this room alive either. So will you shoot me?
Yeah,
and that don't add up, you know.
It doesn't add up. Where he's like, oh, he's like
Yeah.
going, okay, a little bit to the left, a little bit wise, because she can see a little bit of it. Unless that's a cool camera angle for doing that, where a little bit of the eye can show and stuff like that, where you don't see everything.
Yeah.
Where he's going, a little bit, okay, right there, just do it, and then, like, say something happens where you hear this shot and stuff like that, and the whole place kind of goes up into flames. When she shoots, when she shoots, of course, the matches drop because he puts matches on, and then he blows them out and stuff like that too. But then you hear the shot, then you see the match drop, and then it looks to be like you see a potato sack on fire on the ground.
Yeah, it's kind. You can
4K.
see it's like it's a.
It looks great in 4K, like the head is gone. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay.
It's definitely a mannequin. You can see.
She tries to get the key. Well, first off, she gets the thing because she sees the key that's in these flames. That's probably one of the times she got burned. Because you mentioned she gets burned. She did get burned in the scene and stuff like that too. Of course, you're next to fire.
A couple of times.
And just got the key, and still hot, and stuff like that too. But that doesn't work. I think she can't open the door. Something happens.
Because I presume the key is so hot that it doesn't,
that she can't really do it and stuff like that. Yeah, she's like, help, someone help me, please.
Marco ends up coming and manages to save her. There's 2 or 3 different endings to this film, all in one, and they're all in the longer.
Well,
cut.
you see, like when they put out the fire and stuff like that, you see like this looks to be this burnt out, rotting corpse with the back turned to him and stuff like that, like it's in the cradle position. Yeah, they kind of don't say who that is or why it's like what it is.
Make a lot of
sense. It
but,
doesn't. Why not? That's where you say this has a few different endings. It's like, why not choose your own ending type of a thing? So,
but one of the endings is we see them. They're up in the Swiss Alps, and
he has this thing with this fly that he has attached. That's through this tube.
I've got a theory. I've got a theory on that. So I actually think the last Dario Argento preparing for Phenomena. His film Phenomena. I actually think Marco is him,
Oh, it's him just doing that? Yeah, because he's like 1 minute, he's like,
you think about it,
thinking about doing this or doing that. They go through like this conversation like real quick, or something happens where it's like,
oh yeah, they're obviously an item at this point as well. They're both together romantically. And they
have a maid. They have a maid too that's carrying dishes and stuff like that. And she screams. And you hear a bunch of stuff breaking and stuff like that, and they all kind of smirk about it. It's probably, I told you she would, and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, that's when we see kind of the police dogs and the helicopters.
You see the German Shepherds wandering like out here in the beautiful Swiss Alps, where of course Midsommar was filmed at, and all this other stuff.
Phenomena was filmed there as well.
Yeah,
so Marco kind of he looks to see on the news that the killer is still at large. And you got the great shot there when he's literally like shouting out the window. He's like,
well, he sees
run,
that
run.
he sees the maid is dead.
Yeah,
great kind of shot for that. He's like, run, Betty, run, and all this stuff too.
Literally
That's when the music starts and you see him going over the hill at her.
He says something like, he's not dead. You know? And that's where you get. I actually think this is one of the best endings of all time as well.
Great run scene too, where some of those grounds are like soggy as all get out. There's water in those when he runs across.
That shot of her running away from the killer, and then we get Marco turns up and he tries to save her from the killer, and he ends up getting stabbed to death. But just the theme, the Bill Wyman theme in this scene is fucking incredible.
The two detectives come out and say, oh, we got him and stuff like that because it was a setup. So they
she actually turns around before that, then she says she actually turns around and talks to the killer, and she's like telling him like,
you were right. You were right.
Yeah,
you were right. Let's go away together. We better go and stuff like that. We better go. And he's getting ready to do something and stuff like that. That's when they all just start beating the dog piss out of him and all this other shit too.
I said it when I done the stream with Dirk, right? I actually feel sympathy for the killer. The simple fact is he's a victim as well, if you think about it, with her mother. But the way they take the killer down and they're fucking punching him and
because what did she tell him? She said like my mother deserved it or something like that. Like
just to get him to stop.
Yeah, and the detective asks, were you telling him the truth and stuff like that? And she says no. And I'm like, what?
But he says, doesn't he, which makes me realize he's the victim. He says, I didn't kill anyone, I was just trying to free their souls.
Yeah, free their souls. He did that. And that's when they like hit him in the gut and all this stuff.
Yeah, they punch fucking him, they kick him. And of course, the ending as well, where so Dario does this a lot. He did it with Phenomena as well. She kind of sees this lizard. And it's kind of
she's on the ground. She's on the ground. She sees it. And she's like, oh, like seeing that for the first time. I'm like going, and this happens in Suspiria at the end of that, where the final lady in that one kind of smiles and stuff like that. And she's gone. That's it. That did it. She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. She's done because nobody's left. Nobody's left for her. Everyone's gone. Yeah.
This dialogue. She says, I like the wind. I like the rain. I like, all nature in general. I love it. I love that ending.
She's like, sweet, I have this house now and everything like that now in the Alps and all this stuff. I'm good. I'm just like,
Do you know what they were originally going to do with that end scene? They were going to have her sing to the killer in order to stop the killer from killing her, which that would have been strange. I
heard there's one, two of them like, maybe going away together, her and the killer and stuff like that too. Holding hands like that. There's that third ending or the whatever ending that you see that could have worked. So definitely, and that's when the cool ending music starts and
I love that
credits,
piano.
Man.
I love that piano ending. I really do. But there's like 2 or 3 different endings to that film.
Yeah, like I said, the international cut, it just says it cuts out after the officer said, were you telling the truth about whatever your mother? And she goes, no. And then that's when the credit starts. I'm like, okay. So it leaves it up to the imagination a little bit there. So it's kind of impressive.
Chris, do you mind if I just have a quick toilet break?
Go right ahead.
I won't be long, and then we can wrap up.
Yeah, no problem. But anybody who's here, what y'all think of Opera? If you've seen it before, like I say, the comments really help and stuff like that. But this is definitely a good one to cover. It's always this is the first time I've actually covered the film with somebody else. I've done a live stream with this film before. I like it a lot as well, but it's good doing thing with Darren, someone who loves this genre as much as I do, of course, just talking about these films. We're going to get to the second one of these in a minute here, Perfect Blue and what have you, but what you all think of Opera anyway? What score would you give it wise? I know Darren thinks of it very high. We're going to give our scores here in a second once he's back. He has that very good book on it. There's another book from His name is Justin Hysteria Lives, called the Teenage Slasher book. I highly recommend that. That got me into gialli a little bit because it mentions films like Deep Red and other stuff like that too, in slasher genre. So it's excuse me. There's great books out there and just great stuff too. If you can, yeah, share the content. If you could, like the content, to subscribe to content, and yeah, to all these great streamers. And yeah, it's definitely good stuff. I will be right back as well. Give me a quick second, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Chris has done the same. Yeah, any comments? Like, if you're watching this and you want to comment and say how much you like opera or you don't like it or certain things, like, feel free. But I'm like you, ABC. I absolutely love this film. I absolutely. Love
Darren, why don't you show up your edition of opera real quick for everybody, if you could?
Yeah, of course. So you've got this there. Let's dig it out a little bit. You've got. I love that original art as well.
Yeah, the original artwork is badass, definitely.
Got the soundtrack in there. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs.
That's great that it comes with the soundtrack. Severin is very good with that.
Nice booklet as well. That's
a great booklet.
Just give people a view. You see this, some great like artwork. There is writing in there as well.
That's worth it for that elite release alone.
Oh yes. It did have like a correction disc, I think, at one point. So
oh, it did. Yeah, Severin seems to have a.
I just got mine. They are blood in as well. I just got that in the correction disc for that.
I'll just show mine real quick. So this
honestly,
is the
both editions are great.
This is the media book wise. So this is the inside of it. It's just it works like this, right? Here's a lid for it, right? So it does that.
Okay. Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I put the media book part on top. So a lot of people don't like these. I don't mind Hellraiser. That set has a version of it, but that's what you're getting here. So you get 2 4Ks, 2 Blu-rays, nice. And there's the extra disc right there. And you kind of see a little bit of the opera house there. So I do like that when they do that.
That set is very nice.
And here's the back of it. A little bit.
Oh man, I've actually got that image with the eye on my screensaver on my phone.
Yeah, and then you got the poster with it and stuff like that too. I'm not going to bring that completely out, but yeah, this is I'd say it's a grail, I guess.
I would honestly say, and or even mine, both editions, this is like definitely the best fucking edition I've got of anything, I think.
And just like some art cards and stuff like that from the film. Like say there's that one.
Nice.
Yeah. I like the red that they use for it. So that kind of works for this. But he is there. It's Barberini. And last but not least, oh yeah, there's the good boyfriend getting just getting getting taken out. But yeah, it's a great release, and yeah, if I can get a poster with it one of these days, I'll definitely put them up, frame them or something like that. Just I'm weird about that. Just have to get the right frame for that. So Darren, go ahead. I'm sure I know
I've got a few other little things.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a few little things we can talk about first as well before I give the rating.
No, please go ahead.
Bob Geldof was originally going to be the killer, the singer of Boomtown Rats, which again I would not have liked that. I don't think.
Oh, that's a trip. Yeah, singer being the killer. Why not? Yeah.
So Jennifer Connelly was going to play Betty at one point as well.
Oh, that wouldn't work.
No, I
like Jennifer Connelly, but that wouldn't work.
But it's very much. It was a 15-week shoot, and apparently it was really grueling. There's lots of nods to like Hitchcock's.
I think it was one of Dario's. Well, everyone says it was Inferno. I think this one was probably his hardest.
Yeah. But yeah, like I say, for me, I mean, do I have to give a rating, man? It's 10.
Yes.
It's fucking 11, like 8 or 10, to be honest. Yeah.
From the cuts that I've watched, it's a solid 9 out of 10. Is it top tier giallo? Yes, it is. I just have Deep Red is my favorite Argento giallo. That's my second all-timer, really, my tier list. That might change. But you can put Opera as being number one. I would not be ashamed to say that. It's definitely a very good one. Everything's almost perfect about this film, and I love WTF Shally. So if you can do that, and it's what kind of the psychic is to Fulci, this might be his best, like directorial type film and stuff like that too. It just seems it was one that was at film festivals and stuff. I think this was the one that was most widely, kind of shown throughout the world for the most part wise, I believe. If a company like, but like I say, if a company like Orion at the time could pick it up and just, do a release, I'd like to get that VHS. I would love to get that VHS. That's got to be like extremely hard to get.
Famously as well, like Dario, after he made this film, thought he did a complete flop, and he actually fled. He fled to another city, I think it was, thinking that his career was over. And the British journalist Alan Jones bumped into him, I think, in an
Stephen
airport.
Thrower has mentioned him a couple of times.
Oh man, he's amazing, Alan Jones.
Yeah.
But he actually said to Dario, he said, "Congratulations." He said, "I thought it was fucking amazing, that film." And Dario was like, "Really? Did you?" And then that's what changed things. And then Dario realized then, through word of mouth and what have you, that he'd literally made a masterpiece. But it's weird that he actually thought it was a bad film at one point when it straight after he made it. But the rest is history. I do actually. I put this on a par with, say, like it is a little bit better than Phenomena and Tenebrae. All his 80s stuff, I think, is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Deep Red, funny enough, I wouldn't even put Deep Red in my top.
Maybe the best 80s giallo like ever. Like for that decade, it has to be because you don't go from the 70s to the 80s.
Yeah,
you don't do that a lot. You just don't.
No,
Fulci maybe close-wise. Sergio Martino, no. Like from out of those big ones, I think probably Dario is the best. To your point,
you got New York Ripper in '82. You've got Stage Fright, Michelle Suave.
Yeah.
This for me, this ape does them all. But Tenebrae's not a million miles away from being as good as this. Phenomena, I just love. I don't know why people fucking shit on that film. I just don't know why. But yeah, that's Opera, man. Yeah. Hopefully we did it justice.
Yeah, well, I think we did. This is like I was telling them when you're out in Lulu. I told them this is the first time I've really reviewed this film with anybody. So I've done a watch along of this film, of course, with Keith and stuff like that. I've done I can say stream with Keith and Sean about this film and stuff like that. But really discussing it and deep diving into this it's a joy. Doing that, and like I say, it's an all-timer film. It's highly rewatchable. I definitely recommend it. If you haven't checked it out, I don't know what rock you're living under. Check it out.
I'm sure.
So next up is a film that I hadn't seen in a long time. I picked up the Manga Entertainment release back in the late 90s. It was released in 1997, and that's talking about Satoshi Kon's masterpiece. This is his best, in my opinion. This is his first, but this is his best. I'm going to get to him as a director here in a second. But this is Perfect Blue from 1997, directed by Satoshi Kon. 1963 to 2010. He died at the age of 46. We lost him way too soon. Original name, aka Papakuto Buru. So basically, I'll go through this real quick. First off, for Satoshi Kon, he worked under Katsuhiro Otomo. If you don't know who that is, that's Akira. So like Dario Argento working under these great directors and people in his industry, Satoshi Kon in his industry, worked under great people. He was a manga artist like a lot of them start out with. He did horror. One of them's called like Horror Motel, I believe it is. I have to look that up if that's the case. And here we go. He got into this. So this is a Perfect Blue. So I'm going to go over the voice actors, the Japanese one, real quick. We have Junko Iwayo as Mima. We have Riko Matsumoto. She's very pretty, by the way. As Rumi. We have Shinpachi Suzui as Takoguro, and we have Masaki Okure as Uchida. This film was originally this film was going to be a live action film, but they wanted this type of thought. They wanted to be more anime wise. Like say, anime is huge in Japan. It's culture wise. It's based off the book that was done in 1991 by the name of the artist or the author was named Yoshikazu, and it's a very good. It's called, the novel's called Perfect Blue Metamorphosis. He did 2 novels. So he did Metamorphosis, and then there was a sequel novel released in 1995, 2 years before this film was made, called Perfect Blue Awakened from a Dream. Okay, this has scenes. There's a scene in Requiem for a Dream with Jennifer Connelly in the back.
There is, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That director homages stuff to this film.
Darren Aronofsky, I think it is.
Yeah, Darren Aronofsky. That is correct. The soundtrack is great. The original 35 millimeter cut of this film was accidentally destroyed. So this is the best version. It looks great in 4K. Anime is hard. Animation is hard to do in 4K. It just is. Colors can be off and stuff like that. But this is the best version you're going to get of this film. It just happens. With the original trailer there, that club scene and stuff, that was originally a lost song. People didn't know what it was. They found out who the group it was, but that was lost for a good 10 years. They didn't know like where it comes from. And that club scene, that's really, they're filming for a film in that harkens back to another film that was done way back in the day. I forget the actress's name. It takes, she gets molested on a pinball table, I think it is. People in chat may know what I'm talking about. This film harkens back to a lot of films of its time. Let's see. So it premiered at the Fantasia Film Festival in Canada. Budget 90 million yen worldwide, and that's totally. So opening over here in the U.S. and Canada at the time, a measly 9,600. Okay, so I saw films. I've seen a few anime films in the theater with my friends. One of them being called X 1999. You'd have to look up on that film, showed in American theaters over here in California. Worldwide, though, over time, $2.7 million. If that doesn't tell you anything, nothing will about this director. He did another film called Millennium Actress, which is very good. Yeah. Each one of his films is different. He also did another one called Paprika. If you haven't seen the film Inception, that's what Paprika is. Paprika was done before Inception. Again, these directors, just like Mario Bava and the rest, these directors at the time, look at these directors like this. What can you say? It's a beautiful film. It's very disturbing. It basically follows Mima, this idol singer for this idol group called, what's the group's name? Darren, if I know.
Sham.
Yeah, Sham. Almost like Wham a little bit, if you want to go back to the 80s with George Michaels, right? And she's basically, they call it graduating. So she doesn't tell you this at the start, but basically starts out with like this Power Ranger opening. It's at like this fair, this open thing, right?
Yeah.
You hear the audience talking. These 3 dudes are talking about this as, she wants to become an actress and all this stuff, right? Really, she's leaving the group, yes, and all this other stuff. They're talking about these punks that were there before that caused a ruckus. They're back. you see them. It's like, oh, looks like they're here. And then you get introduced to the Uchida character, who's one of the guards. So basically, Mima's getting ready to go. That's when she goes out with their other two girls and stuff, which are her friends that are part of this group. And then that's what starts out with the name Perfect Blue, which harkens back to the ending scene here, which is kind of cool.
Oh,
with
yeah.
her.
Yeah.
And as they're doing this dance and this song number and what have you, the song number, you see him right there, like a perfect shot with him like that, because he plays one of the security guards like this. So you see the obsession already, like she's on like a ballerina, like those things on like on that pedestal twirling back and forth like in a music box. Then the punks start like throwing stuff at him and stuff like that too, because she's getting ready to make an announcement. Well, Chia gets pissed off and tells them to leave and stuff, to kick his ass. She tells him to stop. She can't say the words. She's really emotional about it. Right, so friends say she's retiring and she's leaving the group and she's getting into act. She's getting into acting, but they don't say that. They're like, oh, come on, why? And that's kind of how this whole thing kind of starts. Okay, go ahead, Darren.
Right, so yeah, she's been in this band. I think it's 2.5 years up until this point.
That's usually the lifespan, which is a trip. Japan is very interesting with their idol singers. That goes back to the 80s and before I was born. It's fascinating to me.
It's so they're they're kind of like successful in a small way. They're not really big at this point. But Mima, she gets this kind of fan letter telling her about Mima's room, and it's just
you hear that from one of the people and stuff like that too, because she gets all these letters. She gets the one with the heart on it, and you hear one of the fans say like Mima's room. Check out Mima's room, Mima and Mima's room and stuff. And that's kind of where it kind of starts for going up to her apartment. And we're going to get to her apartment through this film because the apartment changes, and you don't know until you know. She has these fish that she feeds and all this stuff too. You have her manager Rumi as well saying, why can't she stay a singer and stuff like that too? She's worried about her going into this acting because just like opera and stuff like that and Hollywood, whatever like that, this is a very shady business and it gets flipping shady like real damn quickly for her. And it's a good character study. It's good going through her journey to this through the dream sequences to your point that she has because of some certain stuff that happens in my opinion. And she gets that letter. She starts opening it. That's where she gets the fax from somebody. Oh, and she gets the calls too. We'll get, go ahead and get to that, Darren.
The weird thing about this, so one of these fans have set up this special website. But the weird thing about it is it comprises of pretty much public diary entries, written from her perspective as well.
It goes to her birthday when she turns 21. I think in the Japanese original language, she's younger, but she starts reading them up. It's like, it was my 21st birthday. It goes into deep detail, which she didn't put because she knows it's a fan website. Rumi hooks her up to the internet at the time, which the Web Explorer at the time was big. Not Internet Explorer is the one before that, Netscape. And of course, a few years later, it just tanked. So, because we got, Internet Explorer and we got Google and we got all that stuff later. But it's a Gen X film because it was done during that time. You kind of see, because, Rumi's the one that's hooking everything up for her. You see like the telephone line and stuff like that, putting her credit card information in and all this other stuff too to get her hooked up to this because she doesn't know because there's a good relationship between the two. But like say she gets a phone call from her mom. Oh yeah, it went fine and all this other stuff too. That's where she gets another call and it's like somebody breathing. You don't hear, you don't know, they don't talk, just breathing.
Which is in opera as well.
Yeah, and the mom says it's the wrong number. It goes into great detail when she shops, what she gets, what she buys, the fish food for her fish. I'm skipping ahead a little bit, like where she goes to shop, what she buys, how she steps out of the train. She goes, I think, what is it, left foot first? Yeah. And that freaks her out later on and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very good.
Her mother literally is not happy with her leaving the group, but she gets pretty much her first acting gig is this detective series, and
Yeah, it's a film called like Double
it's called
Fine or something
Double
like
Bond,
that.
and
Yeah, Double
she's
Bind.
like really nervous. Yeah, double bind, double bind. But she turns up and she's really nervous on day one.
Yeah, she's saying like
She's
she says
pretty much
she's
got like
yeah.
2 lines.
Yeah, she's reliving
2
her
lines of
lines,
dialogue.
right? She's like going, like glad to see you, something like that. That's when you get introduced to her main agent that Rumi works for, and you get introduced to the director and the screenwriter. You get introduced to the screenwriter as well, talking about this film and stuff like that. Oh, do you like it? The actress that she's trying to be like, which is very cool, and then the actor and all this stuff. You see them kind of doing some foreplay with each other, like, "Oh, you smell real nice today," and kind of stuff like that. So it's done really well.
Rumi as well was back in the day. She was like a K-pop star as well,
Yes.
like a pop idol.
Oh, very good, Darren. Very good.
yeah,
Okay, so you have done your research. Excellent. Good.
So you get this letter and it's addressed to her, and it's kind of a prank
Right,
it blows up.
because it's the lead actress has a bunch of these fan letters, right? And he goes, "Oh, this isn't for you," and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
by the way, this is for you, because she's introducing her and stuff like that too. Because her agent is trying to get Mima into more stuff. Oh, can you do this and stuff like that too? Which will later she will get these roles.
Oh
So,
yeah, you know.
yeah. Because it's kind of weird, some certain scenes, because there's a scene where the three dudes are in the video store and they're talking about these Japanese like maniac films don't do so good. And they're almost implying that this film isn't going to be that good, really. That's where it comes to. And that's when, of course, Chiha is there. This dude is everywhere. He's like security at this place. He seems to work in the same complex where this film is being done at as well. And he shows up in places where you think he shouldn't be. So I really like that aspect of the film.
He's literally like watching her every move. So in the background of this film as well is there's this serial killer on the loose. And I think at one point is like 5 victims. And this guy, you know,
there's an earthquake that happens. There's an earthquake that happens that kills like 200 people. So they do like news experts at the time. I forget the name of the town this was in. I don't think they name it. I want to say Shibuya, but I don't think that's correct. But it's beautiful setting, you know, for this and stuff like that. You see the ins and outs here. So it's very giallo-like. Of course it is. We're going to get to that at the end of this. But yeah, definitely.
I think so a whole band, like, you know, previously, they start to get a bit more successful. They kind of break the top 100 in Japan.
They get their own, like, almost like a podcast type radio show.
Yeah, yeah. And Mima's then, like, pretty much given a larger part in this Double Bind series, which involves, like, a rape scene at a strip club. She kind of wants to, like,
where they say, where the producer or whatever says unfortunately we couldn't get like a club to do this in, so they do it in like this warehouse spot. So it's all done in this complex, which is crazy good. And all done there, where they're really hesitant, really hesitant about that. There's a scene where she goes home and realizes, because she's getting stuff for her fish, and she realizes her fish are dead. Now. And then she gets like really upset because she starts seeing. Is
that all in her mind? You know,
she starts seeing visions of herself. She sees a vision of herself in the mirror originally. It's like going, "I know you don't want to do this, right?" It's like, "Why you want to do this? You don't want to do that." It's just, yes, I do. I want to be successful, right? But you have this her, and you know her K-pop, you can say, or you know, in her idol get up, saying, "No, that's not what you want to be. You know, you're basically an imposter. You don't want to do this. This isn't who the people love. They love you. They love me. They don't love you," type of situation. That's, you know, she throws the pillow out there and then it kind of like disappears. Yeah. So it's basically, you know, her going back and forth with herself mentally.
Right. So that's like her former self is like a doppelganger that keeps turning up and pretty much, you know, telling her way of thinking. The obsessive fan is Me Mania. And that's the guy who's literally much watching her every move.
The note
she has
that
this,
her agent gets and stuff like that as she's doing this line, doing this scene, explodes and hurts him, like almost busts out his eardrum or whatever it is and stuff like that too. And you see a piece of the eardrum with the, or you see a piece of the letter with the note on it saying it's like, don't do it or else it'll be worse. Like a person will die if you don't stop.
oh yeah, I mean, at this point as well, we get like a string of murders begin,
Yeah.
all featured with like people.
When she goes into the elevator, she sees a newspaper clipping of one of the punks that was at her concert that ends up getting hit by a car and he's in critical condition. That's when she turns and she sees Uchida in the other magazine and he has that smirk on his face as it closes. And you're like going, oh. So seeing this for the first time, you're thinking, oh, okay, you kind of know where this is going. It's pretty straightforward for what it is, but that's what makes it so great of an anime film to me.
Oh yeah, you know. So the writer get Shibura, sorry, is killed, and he has his eyes gouged out and he's stabbed.
Right, you hear the song that they're playing. He hears the song that they're playing because there's a poster like put on his parking spot because he backs up to it. Right, you see like blood or whatever on there, fake blood, fake paint, and stuff like that. He says, "What the hell is this?" So he hears the music, which is really good. It's a Japanese anime. I don't care. Like, this is hard to do here. It's straight up Jolly. Just everything you hear silence. You don't hear anything except for the song. He hears it somewhere, right? It pans, and he goes up to the elevator. It opens up, and that's when you see it. You hear it and stuff like that. He like leans down, and you hear the song and stuff like that too. Then you hear the elevator opening again, and you hear footsteps of somebody running away, and that's when you see it. And he's up there for a second with his both of his eyes gouged out. Then boom, boom, like that. Then it just closes, and that's when the screen fades out. Oh, so good.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like the music as well. So you got Mima then. She does this photo shoot, like racy pictures, like nude shots. She keeps seeing this doppelganger, you know, like everywhere she goes.
Yeah, by this
like that radio interview that you mentioned.
Well, first it's like she's walking in the street and stuff, and this agent comes up to her and he says, "You ever thought about being a model?" He's like, "No, yeah, you'd be great for that." Really comes to that. Right, where she's like,
right, yeah,
but that's part of the film, so that's where it kind of switches on you, like, whoa, wait a minute, right? So it's part of the film that they're filming because they gave her more roles, where since the script writer is dead, because, and then you hear, like I say, it goes back kind of like to these three dudes talking about it. It's like, I wonder who did it and stuff like that too. It's like it's very gruesome. He was stabbed, I think they said he was stabbed 6 times. And all this other stuff as well, and it's going towards her success in the film, which is very very insidious and interesting about it.
So this is at the point of the film where she starts recognizing this mania guy. You know, he's everywhere. She is.
You see his room too for a second. There's magazines up here. There's everything. Not as bad as my bedroom over here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, not as bad as that. But, and you see him talking in her voice, right? Like he's mimicking her. Like today I did this. Oh, I'm so nervous. Like something's going on. Somebody's following me. And then, like I said, it goes to that rape scene in that thing where they ask her, "You okay doing that?" and stuff like that. Rumi wants nothing to do with it, and the other agent dude is like going, and I understand he's disgusted by it too. Is like going, it should be okay and stuff like that. They watch it. There's a scene where they have to cut it like a couple of times because something was off. And one of the actors apologized to her, like, "No, it's okay, right? You know, it's fine." Says sorry and stuff like that too. His zipper gets stuck and all this other stuff too, and then they go about it, and you just see disgust on first Rumi, and that's an anime trope type of thing. She's smoking, or she has the cigarette and stuff like that too, and you just see the ash just start dripping off like she's traumatized by it. He's all looking over to see if she's okay. Then finally she gets upset. She leaves after the scene's all done with, and you can tell even the agent dude is disgusted because he even mentions it to her. He was going to talk to her. He goes, "Well, let's just go out for like." I'll take you out for dinner or something like that too. You deserve it. You did a great job today, you know. But I know he wanted to say something because he does feel for her. He's like going, "You shouldn't have to go through all this shit just to get a role, you know." So
Mima, like, she thinks she's actually the one who killed the photographer because she recalls doing it, vaguely recalls doing it, and then she
Yeah,
finds
the googly eyes photographer, because he's all like,
she finds
he
the evidence.
goes up, he
doesn't she?
takes pictures of her naked. She's in the magazines. This dude's looking at it. Chia comes by and takes the magazine away from him, and then he buys them all. Right? He buys them all because he's like, this dude's getting like extremely kind of pissed about it. And like the photographer, like he says, he has one of these eyes that's kind of crooked, like a little bit. It's pretty cool, actually, to tell you the truth. He doesn't seem to be a seedy guy until later. You see some visions of him. He's like going, yeah, that's what I want to see, where he's like literally on top of her taking pictures. And that's a great scene. So that's the best kill in this. It's iconic. It's for the original poster for Perfect Blue. You see her up there with the knife. Now, it comes, so he answers the door because he's watching the film on TV. He's watching the film on TV, or he's watching like the cut of that, even though it's not done yet, because he's part of the film like everybody else, right? He's part of that cast.
Yeah.
And that's when he gets up. And the name of the pizza company, which is funny, I don't know if I put it on here. I probably didn't, which is kind of funny. People kind of make fun of it because it's like an American thing, but it's an actual like based off of something. And you see, it looks like a dude that's delivering the pizza, because the pizza drops, and he goes, "Oh, you're like an interesting pizza person," and stuff like that. And then he gets fucked up. He just gets like just stabbed and all this other stuff too. And that's where it just goes to the couch, where basically you see the feed of him taking pictures of her as she's stabbing him over and over again, because the hat comes off and all this other stuff too. And then it shows a quick shot of him, and he's dead. He's dead in the door now. He tries to call or whatever like that. That's not happening. Stabs him in the hand and all this other stuff. It's a very bloody great scene for an anime. Definitely, it's different. So
it's that, yeah. I mean, just like a little bit before that as well, she finishes shooting Double Bind, and the final scene in which it's revealed that her character is killed and became the identity of her sister due to like a trauma,
almost like Press to Kill a little bit.
Yeah, identity. yeah, disorder. But
there's a scene too where the agent's like taking her, I think, to eat or something like that. They're like in traffic. She sees herself like going around and stuff like that too. And she gets out. She stops and like, "Oh, get back in there and stuff like that." And like, what's wrong? And all this other stuff. So it's already kind of started. Like say her fish dies. She's mad. She's angry. All this stuff is going on. She's almost like in a trance. She hasn't looked like she's slept. There's scenes where she's doing that scene, like the final kind of scene in the rain and stuff like that. She sees Uchiha and stuff like that. There's a scene where she runs in the street and Uchiha is in the van and hits her. She wakes up after all of these. So it's at least 3 or 4 times she wakes up in this room, but in her room, what you think is her apartment. The thing is, there's little stuff that we see, don't we, Darren? We see like the fish seem to be fine. But there's stuff more. There's more stuff in here, like stuff you didn't see originally, unless you pay attention, which I understand why you wouldn't. But it seems to go back to her room all the time, like she's dreaming these scenes and stuff. Until your point when the film kind of gets completed to that last scene that you're talking about.
So Rumi literally has a bedroom, the exact replica of Mima's.
Because you see all the fish, and yes, this is spoiler, people. You see all the fish. Now, first off, it gets to the point where filming is basically completed and stuff like that. Everyone's clapping, great job, because she did it. She like became almost the lead actress. She runs into the lead actress here and saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, miss," whatever like that. She mentions something that's in the film. It's like, "Oh, you don't have to act anymore." It's like done with. This corridor, because she's going to her room to get dressed, right? Because they're getting ready to leave. That's when the other agent mentions to Rumi that she has another film. Like, we got her booked for another film. It's a bit more raunchy than the other ones and stuff like that too. You see him start the car, and you see that light, and you see Rumi smile. Then it cuts to Mima in that hallway and stuff like that too. Because as soon as the lead actress leaves, she turns, and there's a cheetah right there. Because Mima, this ghost-looking version of Mima, very like supernatural, right, tells him like, That's an imposter. She's nothing but like basically like a dirty whore. She's a prostitute. She's no good. She's not pure anymore. You need to take her out, which makes you think and Uchida goes after her. Like, looks like he's about ready to rape her in that scene where she's like there, where this dead in the film that they're doing with the dead body there on like this moving table and stuff like that. Asks her, I want you to breathe heavier. And it happens to be the cameraman that's there. So she's thinking she's doing this stuff, to your point, to these people. And then just goes to him where he gets her on this table and stuff like that. It looks like he's about ready to rape her. He like duct tapes her, ties up her legs, it looks like. And she's grabbing for this hammer. All of a sudden, just like whack. It's done so well and stuff like that because he strips her. He rips her off. He rips her top off and all this other stuff too. And
I think he's the main villain.
Yeah, you think he's the killer because he thinks she killed him because he gets up and he does this like manic thing and stuff like that, and he falls on the table like just like almost automatically, like in the film, which is so cool. And then I'll let you take over for that, Darren. I'm rambling on a little bit.
That scene you just mentioned, we don't know if it's real or not at this point. But we got the great twist then, you know. So Rumi finds Mima backstage, takes her home. Mima discovers that Rumi's bedroom is a complete replica of her
first
own.
off, she goes to the place where she thinks she killed Uchida, and he's not there. And she's thinking, "Oh, did you imagine this?" She's like, "No, he was here." All this stuff happened. She's all bloodied up, but they go back there. That's when it says, "I'll just take you back to your place, and we'll have some tea." We'll get to that when we get to the ending of this film, Darren. But I've some interesting theories about that.
You know, she realizes that Rumi is literally the one behind Mima's room, the website and the murders and the doppelganger and all that, who pretty much manipulated Mimania.
Right, because she sees the fish. She sees, and she opens the window where the curtain's at, which you don't see her do. You only see her do that once, and that's in her own apartment. So she opens up the curtain. She sees that there's a tram basically going by, and then that's when you see Rumi dressed up as a pop idol singer through the mirror. Now through Mima's eyes, it's Mima, it's her. And you see that it's like it fits, it looks good on me and all this other stuff too. And she's singing the song that they sang, and you're like, oh shit. You see this for the first time. It goes to a great chase scene with this.
It does. I mean, like literally, so Mimania was killed for not killing Mima. And obviously, like I just said, you know, the big reveal. I don't know if they would have done that as a live action.
Yeah, because she tries calling her agent. He's dead right next to Uchiha because she went back and she killed them both. So she happened to be there, and she was behind all of this and Uchiha did some of this. He obviously probably killed the one punk that he hit and stuff like that too, but that's the only one that he did. But through his mind, I think he was doing a lot of this stuff. So he basically figured out that Cheetah was Rumi's instrument to carry out these crimes. And work towards the end. The whole mirror thing comes great into play. Like, it looks like Rumi is hopping, but she's not. She goes down the balcony and all this other stuff too. It goes up to the scene where she's right next to this glass window, and the wig gets taken off. Wig gets taken off. When the wig gets taken off, it's the character that changes back to normal. Split personality, because she stabs her with a umbrella, the end of an umbrella, and as the wig comes off, great stuff. Goes forward, she goes, no, tries to get in, lands right on the glass, like Ghost.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
she'll land on the glass. Yeah.
The whole motivation as well. So Rumi's not happy about Mima leaving the J-pop band. She developed like this alternative personality of the real Mima, and she literally wants to destroy her for, you know, to basically redeem her.
This harkens back to the unfortunate death of Selena. That was a hardcore fan that tracked her down and killed her. John Lennon. It goes, got his autograph. he got his autograph.
It's
and,
obsessive fan.
Yeah, it's
isn't it,
obsessive. Yeah, it's really being a fan. Fan meets fanatic. She's bleeding out and stuff like that. She's about to be hit, but Mina saves her.
She does, yeah. That chase scene is superb. And at one point, she's dangling off the end of a building, isn't she? In midair.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
I think all that is some of the best shit I've seen, man.
Yeah.
But of course, Rumi then she comes in, like you just said, she comes into the path of this oncoming truck. But she saves her, and
Yeah, she saves her.
yeah.
It goes towards the ending, which you're gonna again get to. That almost harkens back to films like High Tension.
There's a lot of influence with the ending, So you got Mima. She's gone on to become this well-known actress. She sees Rumi in this mental hospital, and the doctor says,
brings her flowers.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The doctor says Rumi sometimes goes back to her original self, but not too much. Mima leaves the hospital then, and she hears these two nurses, and they think like Mima, she's a Mima lookalike. They're like, oh, there's Mima.
Well, she says
maybe
she says it if it's just like you're the only one that comes. Why you come see her? Says if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be who I am today. So
right,
I owe a lot to her because they were friends. Yeah, they were.
Oh
friends.
yeah. So you got that final shot then, and Mima, she gets into a car. And she declares to herself, "No, I'm the real thing," and that's the final shot of the film. And it's fucking amazing. This film,
yeah, it's a great,
it really is
great film, great ending. To that being Perfect Blue, the sky is perfectly blue at that ending shot. Where the other parts of the film, it's not. There's either something else going on. To your point, this is almost perfect, literally, as an anime film. I'm kind of shocked. To the whole thing, I think she was getting delusions and stuff like that from the tea that Rumi was giving her. I think that knocked her out, and she was taking her back there. So I think that stuff that was happening, she was in the vicinity, and then all of a sudden she woke up because she wouldn't remember what happened like before, was because of maybe that tea that she was given, and that she was, she was drugged. Seeing this for the first time, I had no idea who the killer was, and it was, I thought, like I say, it was and it's a good, like, straightforward idea for Uchida to be the person, but then you realize, that it was Rumi pulling the strings. That's a great double turn with that. That's what Jallies are made of. Argento has mentioned this film in the past. Like, this is the closest you'll ever get to an anime being a Jalli. Nobody was like Satoshi Kon. Nobody will be like him. You want to talk about a run for films? This was a run for him for films. Like, you have Perfect Blue, you have Millennium Actress, you have Paprika, you have Memories. That trilogy of it was an anime trilogy film, and it's called Magnetic Rose. That was his story, which is like a space horror-esque type of a ghost story. I highly recommend checking that out if you have not yet. He produced an anime show back in the day too, Paranormal Agent, which people like that show quite a bit. So this is a good one. Well, I don't know what else to kind of say. Go ahead, Darren.
So this was released. I think Chris said earlier on August the 5th, 1997, at Fantasia.
Coming out on an anniversary.
And then in Japan on February the 28th, 1998. The budget was US dollars was 830,000, and the box office brought in $3 million. I think Italy, they did like a regional release that brought in 572,000 euros.
DVDs still matter, people. When manga released this, like I said, I picked it up and stuff like that because people never saw anything like this before. This film is one of a kind.
No,
like,
this is literally one of a kind. In America, this was aired on the Encore cable TV network, and it was also on the Sci-Fi Channel. On
Shudder has shown it.
2007. Yeah. It was aired in Australia as well on network TV back in 2008. And I mean, there's nothing like this at all. I've not seen it. Did you see it with the English dub or the?
Yeah, I've seen both versions.
Okay.
When I got the edition that I showed
Does
off,
it play differently at all in that, or like?
No, the English dub is actually quite good. Wendy Lee's a legendary American voice actress. I remember her from the days of Robotech. She's in here. It's done by Madhouse, Studio Madhouse, which of course did all-timers like Ninja Scroll and other great animes and stuff at the time. It's yeah, definitely.
They had funding issues as well at some point.
Yeah.
So
like I said, the 35mm copy was destroyed, accidentally destroyed. It happened.
Yeah.
It happened to another legendary anime director who passed away a long time ago, who did Legend of the Galactic Heroes. His studio was burned down accidentally. So fires happen and shit gets destroyed. That's probably why we'll never get like a true version of Event Horizon. I want to see that other cut, but it's not happening.
Right. So one of the main reasons they didn't get the money for this film was so there was a 1995 Kobe earthquake which affected the studios,
which they mentioned in the film.
Which is great.
Japan is known for that. Japan is known for that. They had the great earthquake before World War II, which changed Tokyo for the first time. Like Tokyo rises from the ashes, Japan rises from these ashes of these catastrophes quite well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So all that, literally is portrayed in the film. A lot of Kons influences I was looking at, were like Alfred Hitchcock, David Lynch, John Carpenter, but obviously the big one for me is the Argento, like
David Lynch. Yeah, I can see David Lynch. Yeah.
But no, this was groundbreaking. This was a groundbreaking animation film. It had like a modest initial box office return in Japan as a smaller project, but after a while it just gained this like international acclaim through festivals, influencing filmmakers like you said, Darren Aronofsky. He recited it for Requiem for a Dream. It's got parallels with his other film Black Swan.
Yes,
and it literally launched his career. Yeah, it did. Man, I want to see Paprika now. That's the one I want to see next.
Yeah, Paprika, a lot of people consider his best. Millennium Actress is more of a drama with sci-fi type elements to it. But it's a great anime too. That can hit at the heartstrings a little bit because it's Millennium Actress. You see kind of the theme that he went with this film.
It's gonna have to go some to be better than this, though. For me.
I'll go. No, go ahead first. What do you score it there?
This is a high. So I originally watched this. I must have been about 2 years ago now when I was doing a stream on Gizmo's channel. And I thought I really liked it a lot. I give it 7 out of 10 then. Going back this time, it's like a 9.5. It's fucking almost perfect for me. I'd like to see it a little bit longer, if I'm honest. Because it's 81 minutes and it seems to like fly by.
It does.
But no, I mean, over time, it might get to that 10 out of 10 mark. It probably is a 10, to be honest. But yeah, love it. Absolutely love it.
Very nice. I agree. It's a solid 9 out of 10. It's one of a kind. He had a great run. Like I said, he died way too young. That's unfortunate. But what a run to leave behind of these films. And each one is definitely unique. Yeah, solid 9 out of 10. Like I said, yeah, it premiered at the Fantasia Film Festival in Canada. So that's a legendary platform for that. 90 million yen. Yen is a little bit different than US dollars, of course, and they've had recession after recession after recession anyway. But when specifically for films like this, that's what makes, hey, what can you say about these directors? They're very unique. I'll show off my deluxe edition here in a sec. Quick right here. Let's see. And I pre-ordered this as soon as it went up on Amazon. So
is this still available now to buy, or is it out of print?
You may have to find out, Darren. Okay. Hopefully, it is available. I want everybody to have this and stuff.
I want that version, man.
And yeah.
Is that Blu-ray, Chris, or is it 4K?
No, it's a 4K, but they do it like this so it works.
Oh shit! And, I like that.
It's funny, you see the disc on top of there, so it's like
I love that, man. Yeah.
So let me get my hand stupid mouse out of the way here. So that's the back of it.
Oh, look at that animation cover, man.
That's basically the versions that you get. So you get the 4K, you get the Blu-ray, and you get the special features and stuff like that as well.
Oh shit, nice.
So it's kind of like the Opera release that I have a little bit. You get the booklet and stuff like that too, which, like I say, it's like, so it shows like the characters and stuff like that too.
That's all in English as well, is it, Chris?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you have stuff like that too. You have, let's see if I can find it. There is a shot of them all together, which I always thought was really, really cool. But there's a lecture in here too, talking to everybody. So which is very cool as well about the film. And just like all the characters and stuff like that too. But, you know, you just have, of course, iconic scene there and stuff like that. So, you know, you have really good stuff. That I've only scratched the surface of this film a bit. Of course, you have some poster artwork, but there's the original poster right there.
Yeah,
like man, that's the premiere one. That's the best one. That looks.
I would love
awesome.
to have
So
that as hanging on my wall or something. I would.
But you know, and just shots like full cell shots and stuff like that. So see the difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's really cool. So like the door is different, like, and see where the window's at and all this other stuff too. So it's kind of like you say, very interesting wise the way it works out. But yeah, like I say, all in all, great release. Let's see, like, you know, you have shots of the town and all that stuff too. So, you know, the back of that, got some art cards here. I'll show these off real quick. Oh. The ones that I can anyway. So some of these are just like promotional art too. So, you know, you have this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this.
Do you mind me asking how much you pay for that?
Right, 60.
Oh yeah, it's worth every penny, man.
That's my favorite. That's just good. You know, like
yeah,
that.
the look of the killer is. Oh well, we think he's the killer at one point, don't we?
Yeah. Like say obsession is obsession wise, and then that.
I didn't realize how similar it is to Opera, man. It really is.
This one is the best.
Nice. There's a steelbook as well, I believe.
Yeah, I have the steelbook. Blu-ray steelbook. I have the Blu-ray steelbook. Yeah.
I'm definitely looking into getting this now.
That?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there you go. And it just shows kind of whatever. But yeah, last but not least, this one right here, which I really like a lot. So
yeah.
So yeah, I haven't cracked into the book a lot, but I have read like some of it, just like say the artwork for the scenes and all that stuff too. And like I say, that meeting that they kind of have here where they talk to everybody and stuff like that too. So I'll just written down in there, which I like, you know. So yeah, it's a very good one. So yeah, like I say, two bangers. This was a great show to do. Whenever I can talk about certain classic animes, because this is a classic. It is ranked, I think, in the 200 influential films. There is a list out there. This is a part of that, which it should be. I know Akira's on that list too, because Akira is a legendary film from Otomo. You can't beat stuff like that, but yeah.
Is there any? Because I've asked you this before, but there's not really anything like this out there, is there? Like a horror animation anymore?
Horror anime, there's a few. I remember doing a stream with Keith for Lily Cat. That's a sci-fi horror, kind of think The Thing in space a little bit. Very parasitic one, alien one. That one's hard to find. There's another one called Little Shop of Horrors, which is a horror anthology. I would suggest checking that out if you can. But there's some interesting animes out there that have those elements. Doomed Megalopolis is a horror, which was done like 40-minute like OAV type of stuff. I can talk to you about that later, Darren.
There's of course, no slasher ones, is there?
No, that I can see. Other ones than, like I say, this one right here, I haven't seen like a lot, but there's some interesting ones. But yeah, this was this was a good one. Like, dude, like,
Yeah.
how about that? You know, it's like rarely do we get something like this that just seems to fit together, where they just work, and they look good on the shelves too, people, regardless of whatever like that. If you haven't seen these films, definitely check it out. You don't have to be an anime fan to like Perfect Blue as a film and as the genre that me and Darren both love a lot. It's definitely a good one. Again, this was a great stream. Boy, we have more great stuff to come too. But first off, Darren, what do you have on your channel coming up with Dirk?
Yeah, absolutely. So Sunday we've got Ian Urza coming on from Black Love Mysteries podcast he does with Greg and Mortis.
Nice.
We're going to be covering Luke Miranda, Shoot First Die Later, which I saw last night. It's absolutely fucking amazing. Violent Professionals, which I love.
I've heard of Violent Professionals.
Yeah, Sergio Martino film. And Gambling City, which I've not seen yet, so I'll be watching that in the next day or two. And I think the week after, I'm trying to think now what we got. We've got I think we got 3 Jallos that week as well. Dead or Alive is one of them. Like a week after that, we got Troy Howarth, Nathaniel Thompson, and Eugenio Urkelani coming on. So that's gonna be a big one.
Wow, that's a big one.
It
Good
is.
deal.
It's a week before Easter, so we're looking forward to that one. And just obviously I'm going to be on your. We got like our podcast as well. We do.
Yeah, Black Love Reviews. Yeah, thank you all for whoever turned into that. I think we did our best one a few weeks ago, so that was really fun to do. And we're getting better.
I've got to mention Region 3 as well. I'll be on next Friday too.
Yeah, I was warning those boys and ladies and stuff like that. Yeah, great stuff. Great channels. Definitely check it all out. Like I said, we have Slasher Stream coming up here in the next couple of weeks. That's going to be a big one, Slasher Stream 15. We'll discuss which ones we're going to be talking about, but it's definitely going to be 3 slashers. And I have a good idea, but always Darren's always been a huge help for me on this channel, and I always appreciate him being on. Expect that. Expect a Black Glove Reviews podcast, which me and Darren, of course, are a part of, where we talk about the other films that we love so much. So we'll talk about episodes for that too. Expect that one in the future. And then just other content, if I feel like it, on this channel. I plan on doing a slash along on Humongous maybe sometime next week. So expect a watch along, basically, of slashers. I call them slash alongs, and Humongous is an old timer. Definitely want to dive deeper into that slasher too, because I like it a lot. So yeah, just expect,
I think our next All the Colors of Jallo show should be I'm thinking it should be What Have You Done to Your Daughters and what's the
Night
other
School.
one? Night School. Yeah,
Night School, definitely. Yep, I was going to mention that. Very good, Darren. You're always here. You always make sure I stay on the straight and narrow with that too. So expect that one in the future as well. And other great stuff on all these great channels. Thank you all for joining who could. And again, like I say, John Grande has been talking about these films too over on his channel. So definitely check him out too. He does a little bit better job than we do. And like I say, we're the second best.
Is brilliant. Yeah, he really is.
And we're the second best channel on here. But Justin is number 1 from Stereo Lives, but we're like second number 1. So I'll just say that for slashers and all your other kind of goodness. So kind of works.
Yeah, there's not too many of us about really, but there should be more, I think.
Absolutely. Oh, definitely. We'll recruit more great people here. Expect future guests on here and the other streams as well too. So like say Jay's been on here. I expect to get some other people on here too I've been talking to. So expect that in the future. Anyway, I'm Chris C. I am Black Love Reviews. That's Darren. You awesome people. Take care. And we'll see you all next time. Have a great evening. Enjoy the weekend coming up, everybody.